Hi guys, I was trying to come up with my favorite family meal, which is cheap, cheerful and totally delicious. And one of my favorites was a meatloaf when I was growing up. So I'm going to show you how to make a meatloaf slathered in tomato ketchup, served with a healthy carrot mash and a really delicious little onion gravy. It starts off with some onion gravy. So we're gonna fry off our onions first. We've got 3 white onions. I'm gonna slice them up and just slice them nice and thinly. We're gonna use half the onions that are cooked off for our meatloaf and half for our gravy. Time to get slicing. Get a drop of olive oil into a pan which is already over the heat. So about a tablespoon of olive oil, and then just start scooping those onions straight in on top. I like to start on a high heat and then bring it down so you get a little bit of colour, but then you want to really make sure that they're nice and tender before they go into that meatloaf. So give it a good stir. My onions are coming up very nicely. I've got a bit of colour in there that's softening down, but before I transfer them out, I have these little trays ready for my meatloaves. I'm gonna make these little individual meatloaves. So you can do this straight on a flat baking sheet, but I have this tray which has beautiful little molds and they're gonna result in really nice meatloaf shapes. So before I put them in, I'm just gonna grab a bit of ketchup. You have to have ketchup over the top of meatloaf. I think there's a law somewhere that says that. So you wanna give a good squeeze of ketchup into the base of each one of these. And then we're gonna get a little bit of ketchup into this bowl. So this is the start of our meatloaf mixture. In on top of that, we're gonna use our caramelized onions. So about 2 to 3 tablespoons of onions going in there, leaving some in the pan so that we have something to make our gravy with. So our onions are in, we're gonna hit it with some breadcrumbs, and then we're gonna hit it with a little free-range egg. That's actually a large free-range egg. So we'll get that straight in there. That's gonna help bind, the breadcrumbs and the egg are gonna help bind. For a little bit of flavor, we're gonna get some Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. If you can say Worcestershire, leave me a comment in the box below. We're gonna add about a tablespoon going in here. I can never say that word. We're gonna hit it with some spicy Tabasco sauce. If you don't want spiciness, just leave this out. But about a teaspoon to a tablespoon going in, depending how wild you really are at home. But I don't want to know about that. Dried oregano or oregano, however you say it. Just get a lump of it in there, about a teaspoon to a tablespoon again. And that is your core base flavor. I'm gonna hit it with some sea salt and black pepper just to season it up. So a nice grind of black pepper. And I've got a kilo of beef mince here. You want to make sure that you have a nice rich red colour, but a good generous bit of fat running through it, which is going to really add lots of great flavour. So that gets straight in there. And the best way to do this is to get your hands in there and get dirty. Now that this is mixed through nice and thoroughly, I'm just going to take big handfuls. I suppose you're looking for a size that's slightly bigger than a hamburger. So just grab it like that. And you want to kind of mold it into large balls and then just press it straight in on top of that ketchup and allow that ketchup to kind of press up and around the sides. And now all you have to do is do the rest of them. Meatloaf's ready to rock, they're ready to go into the oven, but the last little thing I need to do is just give a little squeeze of ketchup over the top of each one. It'll start to kind of intensify and you'll get this kind of thick and gloopy mix on the top, which is really great on your meatloaf. These lovely meatloafs are ready to go into the oven, and if you're looking for the full recipe, check out the box below. While my meatloaf is in the oven, I'm gonna make up a rocking little red wine onion gravy. So I've brought my onions back up to temperature, they're nice and hot, so I'm gonna deglaze the pan with a good glug of red wine. Now that that red wine has evaporated down, the flavour has intensified, I'm going to hit it with about 100 millilitres or so of chicken stock. Now that the chicken stock has bubbled away with that red wine, I'm going to thicken up this sauce, and I've got a great little tip if you want to do this. Take a jar with about a teaspoon or a tablespoon of flour, and then take that hot liquid and pour it straight on top. You're basically loosening out the flour, or you're making a kind of roux, a paste. Now that you've added that in, it's much easier to incorporate the flour and you won't end up with a lumpy gravy. Well, it'll be a little bit lumpy because of the onions, but don't mind, you know what I'm trying to say. This looks perfect. Individual little meatloaves, really ready to rock. And now I've got my onion gravy, I've got some carrot mash, which all I've done is steam up my carrots, mash them up with a little bit of butter, and it's a great little healthy alternative to your mashed potatoes. So get straight out with that into a serving dish. So I'm gonna take one of these little babies out of their tomato ketchup bed and stick it straight on top there. And the last little thing is this beautiful red wine onion gravy. You want this to be slathered in that beautiful gravy. Look how good that looks. Oh yes. I want you to give it a go, but before you do, I think I've got to dig in and see what it's like. So let me grab a fork, take a little bit of that wonderful meatloaf, get a bit of that mash in there, and oh, you know what? This is not gourmet cooking, but it is comfort food, and it is the best type of comfort food. A really hearty family meal, really great and easy to make. If you want the recipe, it's in the box below. Check it out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for lots more brilliant recipes just like this one. Like, share, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.